So this is what it looks like in the car. So it's back in. So I'll show you what all the bolts are. See, that's that piece I was telling you about that slots into there. It goes on top of there. Yeah, so hopefully this gives you a fair idea, and I'll like I said before, I'll paste well, I'm saying it now, but I'll paste a diagram of how the belt's supposed to go. It'll be in its own picture, but I'll try direct how the belt goes, because it snakes. So I'll probably see if I can turn the light on so we can see. I'll put the flash on, eh? There it is. Yeah. I wonder if you can see down there. So you can probably see the big pulley down there with the nut in the middle. Right, the furthest pulley that you see down there, the massive one, that's the harmonic balancer. So that's the crank pulley. That's the main pulley where things snake around. So it comes, see, and if you can probably see down there, see, so the belt goes under the main pulley and it goes around the aircon pump. That's the aircon pump there, right? And then it snakes back. So it snakes back to snakes back and goes around this pulley, goes around the next pulley here, the one with this one here, the water pump pulley. All right, and then it comes up and then around, and you see it at the back. That's I think that's the power steering pulley. Yeah. So yeah, it's either I think that's the power steering pulley. Yeah. See, so it goes around that. I don't know if you can see that, but we'll try. Like spider webs in the way. Yeah, so it goes around there and it comes back up, and then goes around the tensioner. The tensioner there. Oh no, sorry, the tensioner's there. That's the tensioner there. That one right there. It goes around the tensioner and then around the harmonic balancer, and then it goes back around, and then the order I was telling you. Cool. So we'll put a diagram up so you can navigate that, because man, need that, eh? Alright, cool. I think hopefully that's enough. So I just wanted to show you how this goes back in. Alright, this has 3 nuts in it. Okay, we've got one there and one over here, and one at the bottom, probably on this side, down on this side somewhere, underneath the bracket. But yeah, cool. Oh, spider web in there. Yeah, now take it off because it's going to get jammed on this. Very good. I'll try the socket. Yeah, I'll hold that. There you go. So show us where that bolt went.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take it out. Now get the rest. Just with the socket. No, with the socket. Try the socket.
This one?
Yes, hurry up. Is it loose enough? Yep, try it now. And with the socket, remember always with the socket first. Ratchet, sockets, and fingers.
Like
Well then, oh look, you got it. Yeah, we'll put the ratchet back on it then. Sometimes, because this one's loose, it's acting on that one. Just go hard. Let's try that.
Look.
Socket. Use it with the socket. That one goes up there. So that one, it's up there. Came out of that side. I'll do the first. I'll do the first one, son. Even if you chuck that one. So this was over there. You see the 3 holes? I went there, like around there. Sweet. So I had to take this stuff out, and this is part of the mount. That's the actual engine mount. It goes on the side of the motor over here, and it goes on here, which is sitting in there, up this way. This sits down in those 2 bolts there. You can see the way to mark it. Okay, you see this here? This comes down and goes in there. Goes back like that, right? And that spike there, oh sorry, that spike there, it goes in there, and the other spike there, which you see there, goes like that. And this is the mount, right? It sits in there. So the reason why I took this out is you could probably see if it sits in there, there'll be less room. But the idea was just to take that off, right? Right. And see if we could pull the mount out like this. So I'll put that back over there for a second. So see if we could pull this off, but we can't because of that spike there. Okay, so this, if it was in there, okay, just pull it off like that. But if you look inside, it's got 2 notches in there, or spikes. They go into the bottom of that. And to get that back in, you just wriggle it, and then it goes back in. And if you want to see if it's gone back in, yeah, you can see it there. You can line up. But yeah, I'm going to have to put that back in there. So I'm going to find out the best way to do it. Because the reason why we took this off, or and I wanted to take this off. It's because I wanted to get at the belt, on the tensioner on the belt, because the problem is the alternator is not charging the battery and the light's showing up on the dash. So yeah, what I thought on some cars that you can play with the tensioner or tighten it up and pull it and then tighten it again to put tension on the belt. But this system is yeah, the tensioner is just a separate piece that you can buy, and I don't think you can adjust them. And if you can, well, I didn't research that. I did, but nothing's coming up really. It just shows you how to take it off, but in here it's too tight to get these bolts out, so you can't really take the tensioner off. So that's that. So I'm just going to try replacing the alternator, because what I was going to do is see if it's the tensioner or the belt, because the alternator is, it might be faulty because it's flickering sometimes, or one time I saw it flickering like it's charging the battery, but then it must have came back on. Yeah, so now here we're putting the belt back on, and I just figured out how to put the belt back on from a video I saw on YouTube. But here's one of the main tensioner bolts there. I undid this and it only came so far, and same with this one, it only came so far on down there. And you'll probably see some of this when I put the picture. I'll put a picture up on this video so you can see how this went. But yeah, and how to put the belt on. I'll probably put it at the beginning of the video if anything. So yeah, so at the moment we're gonna put this belt on. So yeah, I'll have a go at putting it on, and then we'll chuck, because it's easier to play with this belt without this on. But if you just have to change the alternator, you'll probably just take off a few bolts around here to get it off. Yeah. Well, I'll show us getting at this alternator. If it's too hard to get off without, you know, all this back on, I'll just take it all off and sort it out. Cool. Okay, so there's no belt in there because I took it out. Here's the belt here. All right, so I'm gonna chuck it in there and get it ready. All right, so this is the inside of the belt, obviously. So this is the first time me doing one of these, even though I've had experience doing other belts. So I've got it past there. So I'm going to feed it past the other pulley. That's alright, I can be coached. And grab one of these to help you. I got the 17. So you can push it down past the other bolt. Yeah, it's gone past the bolt. You just need it past that pulley. Alright, you could probably even turn this wheel. See that? Because the belt got stuck, I turned the wheel and it pushed it into place. So here, so there's the main bearing down here. That's what I want to try to get the belt around now, to prep, so I can get the belt around these other places, or these other pulleys. So you have to create a loop for this one. All right. So I have to do this. I have to pull this belt up. And loop it under the tensioner. Alright. See how I'm doing this? I'll put a picture on the beginning of this video so you can see how I'm doing this. See, this thing here is, I think it's the balance or the measurement, hey, your timing mark. But see, if you saw how I did that, I pushed it under there. Okay, now I can coach the belt onto the bottom pulley, if you can see that. I'm just tapping, making sure it goes on with this. There. So if you can see, I've got it on the other belt down there, or the other pulley down there. It's on the other pulley down there. And I have to go under this tensioner. Okay, with that back side of the belt. So I'll try that now. Look, it's come off. I can push it back on. Yeah, I'll put it back onto the bottom pulley. I can feed some down. You know, there might be an easier way, but I'm doing this way at the moment. So I've gone under the tensioner. I just need to get it under the, yeah, see? Happy. I think that's the bit you want to do first. Just get it there into that position. See that? I think we can work the other stuff out after this, which probably won't be that difficult. So I'm going to try put it on the air conditioning pulley down there next from the bottom. Okay, and we can try that. But first, before I do that, I'll go and seat it down on the bottom pulley down there, the main crank pulley. Alright, so I can pull the rest of this belt up and see where we're at. Okay, pause. So I pulled the belt out from down the bottom up like this. So I've got it around the, I thought this was the power steering pulley. Alright, which I think it is. It's the power steering pulley, it's around there. Alright, I'm gonna go around the tensioner and down and around the main pulley down the bottom. So how I'm gonna do that, I'll just try to hold it there, put it on the tension like that and feed it down. Now I've got to somehow get it to go around the bottom pulley. I'll probably use this. Yeah, there we go, I'm feeding it down. And I think it's almost gone around the bottom pulley. So I'm going to hold this side, this end, and try to coach it on. Yeah, that's actually going, I think it's going on down there. I might need a longer stick or something to push it down, or you can jump down and pull it from the bottom. I don't know which one's the safest bet to do, but we'll try. Do it from up here. So I've got this. Lifting the belt up. I'm just coaching it on the bottom pulley. See, I just had to stop it from coming off the tensioner. At the moment, I could probably grab it and coach it onto the power steering pump. Because the belt's relatively straight, or it tries to hold its shape, as you can see. Yeah. Alright. See, it's all, so I try not to muck around with that because it'll pull it off that tensioner. If I can get it to go. So I pulled it towards me, and it looks like it's wanting to go into the frame of things. So that's some of the belt on there. Right. I think the next step is to go around here and back up onto the alternator. I think yeah. So I'm going to try that with just holding it like that. But see how I did that? So at the moment, that's what you want it to look like at the moment. So down here, it comes this way, under this pulley, and then around the alternator, and this bit is straight down to the power steering pulley. So cool. I'll try sort that now. Put it back on. So now I'll show you how I've done that. So what had happened there, so before we were like that, right? So all I've done now is taken the belt down and gone behind here. Hang on, I have to make sure it stays on the air conditioning pump. There. So what I'll do is I'll hold on to this side of the belt and use this side. Yeah, so you can feed under this. Come around. Yeah, see that? Now all I have to do is get that bit onto here, and that's where you use the tensioner. The tensioner over there, the tensioning bolt, which is here. This is a 19mm. A 19mm. You chuck the 19mm on with this, and then you force it down to get the belt on. But it's easier to get in here without the mounts here, so that's why I took them off. So yeah, if you've got it to this point here, see that? So that's how your belt should be looking. Alright, if you can see anything in there. But yeah, so now the belt's going to go around there, and then I'm going to pull the alternator down and just get the last of my belt on. So we'll do that. We'll come back to that. So it's easier without all the stuff in here to get this on, and see how easy it is to pull that down. See, that's the tensioner coming down, and I can just kind of get this belt on the alternator like this. See how I've done that? If you want to see it again, yeah, see that? This is because I'm confident I know I've got the belts on all the other pulleys, and you can just get that sucker on like that. You can take it off and have a rest. See, that's the tension from the tensioner on the belt now. See down there? See how I got the socket in the, see it's not lined up properly there, but there's ways you can probably coach this pulley into pulling this on while you got the tensioner, so while I push the tensioner down. Okay, so if I go like this, I can coach the belt on. Did you see that? But down here, I can probably straighten the belt. See, that's without the tensioner on it. Now the tensioner's on, the belt's back on now. So hopefully you got to see that, how I got all that on. It's the first time I'm doing a belt like this, and that was quite easy. So I took all the mounts off on this side, took everything out of this side. You'll see when we go to put it back on, made everything easier to get at the belt and everything. But I'm going to change the alternator, so hopefully I can get, because this is the main thing, you have to get in here and push that down and get the tension off the belt. See, so you can remove the belt. and get that belt off. You can see how even the camera you can't really see because my tools are in the way, but you can see, like, see that? It's nice and loose. Well, I can get that off just as easily as I got it on. It's just a bit of fiddling, that's all. I hope I don't lose it though. Lose it all the way down on the side of the car. How it can come off. It's coming off now. See that? See that? See that right there? You can see it now. See that? It's come off, and you can just pop it back on. All right. Yeah, boom, back on. Oh, hopefully you got to see some on that. But the problem is the alternator is not charging, so we've got to check to see if pull this off, or see if I can pull it off with the belt on. That's why I'm doing this. Because the best thing is you might have to pull it off, pull the alternator off while it's all like this without the belt and the mounting. Because I don't know if I can get this off, you know. It's just, I thought I'll just, you know, demo how to get the belt on and off. Cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the alternator out, or get it the alternator now without this mounting, because I know that it's hard to get to the tensioner down here when the mount's in. So that means if it's hard to get to the tensioner, it might be hard to get the alternator off the blooming, you know, the bracket. So I have to, you know, this is kind of annoying. So you got this wire here. We're gonna take that off. Then we got to get that off. That's a nut. There's a nut under there. But these should be able to be twisted or manipulated so it comes off, unless I pull it up like that. But we'll sort that out. And this part of the loom, this goes down to the power steering pump. I mean, not the power steering, sorry. Keep calling it that, eh? The blooming air conditioning, aircon pump. This wire, it's plugged in down there. So we have to take that off and get it off this little bracket here too. Alright, see that? See that clip? That clip there is on this metal bracket here. So we have to take that off just to get it out of the way, because it doesn't become a nuisance. So over here, I wonder if you can see, there goes that wire and clip. Alright, I have to take that off. Alright, and you know, unclip it, because you can see the wire coming down, looping around and going back up. That's I think that's the power supply to the air conditioning. Alright, I wonder if you can get a better view from this side. Hopefully you can see something, but yeah, if not, oh well. But yeah, there it is there. It's just a push clip, just like the one upstairs. Oh yeah, I'm going to try sort that out. Where is it? Oh yeah, there it is there. I was always looking at it. Yeah. So if I could get my hand in there and hold the phone, yeah, I'll grab it. But yeah, it's if you can see it, if you're used to seeing these things, or the clip, see it's got the tab on the other side, on the top side, that I have to push down and then pull off. And see if I can, you know, video it, me doing it. Okay. Now, if you can just see this, I'm going to try to get it with my... This is how you have to get it. These clips are funny, man. I'm trying to get it without damaging the wires on it. Oh, you seen how you can get that off?
No.
Okay. So I took it off now. So it's a little bit of squeeze and a wriggle. And there we go. See that? And here's a clip over here. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a clip here that you might want to sort out too. Well, on here it is. You can actually try rip these off, but it's best to get a screwdriver in there behind it. And then unclip it. But I'll unclip it from the metal upstairs. As you can see, there's a tab there that you can try muck around and push it back through to get the wire off the clip. Or these tiny little tabs you can push with a screwdriver behind it. So we'll try that. And it's good to pull, to lightly pull, so you can see which one needs to come out. If you damage these, it's okay because you can replace them. Yeah, I almost got this out, but not very many people like these clips. I'll get that out of the way. Because it's hard to get the clip underneath at the very bottom. Yeah, it's coming out. It's loose enough. I can try to get it like this. See that? You see what type of clip that is? See the bottom one, you have to have it pushed in too. So maybe I should have pushed the bottom one, pulled, and then got the top one. But it's alright. See if that's off. Because the main one we need to get off is here. And then the alternator will be off this loom. So you won't have to worry about the air conditioning supply. So these are funny too, these clips. I should sort out how to take it off, but I think that's a tab too, and you can open it up. And there's a tab under there, right there. I don't know if it goes towards or away. I think that tab is to, yeah, that tab is to get it off the metal. Okay, see there, that there, that's to get it off the bracket. So once that's probably easier, but you don't want to leave this old metal bracket on there. Because if you put the other alternator on, you forget to put that on, there's nothing for this to clip to. Just in case. But the main thing is we got to take that off. So I'll figure out how to get that off and I'll record that.
Yeah.
So I got this off. And I'll show you how it goes. It's just a clip. So hopefully I'll get this back on properly. So, because you don't really want to break things like that, but if you do, it's no biggie if you break little things like that. Yeah, see that? It just clips on. So how I got that off is I just pulled that side out. Right? It's like it's got some little tabs in there. Some little tabs in there that hook over the bottom of that plastic there, and look how short they are. So you can get them off with your fingers. I thought it was going to be difficult because how dust and dirt and debris can build up on it. So I'm going to take that off, and then I will have to take this off the bracket down there so I can pull the wiring. Get rid of this wiring. Get rid of this wiring here and fold it back over the motor or something. Yeah, so you can get it out of the way. So that's probably a 10 mil. Yeah, got the 10 mil there. And make sure your terminal's off the battery, eh? Yeah, because this even though it's could be, that's the earth, all right? You don't want to be mucking around with touching metal to this point and something around here, because that's the positive, that's the supply, that's the negative, that's your earthing, all right? So just in case, you know, because I've touched, you know, alternator, all the starter motor, stuff like that, and then, you know, touch the earth and it's a bit of sparky, you know. Myself and probably a few people have done that. So there, that's loose now. That's sweet. I'll get that off. These little bolts are tedious, eh? And if you know that about certain things like that, well, this is a bit sticky. I'll try deep. Oh yeah, it just came off. So it's a bit fiddly. So it's got these tabs on it. They go into the black holes there. You can probably turn it around if you could, but nah. This one, you saw how this came out. These ones came out. It's just, it comes off. So sometimes what I like to do, if preferable, just chuck the bolt back on, just in case the other alternator doesn't come with one. You know, these are some of the things. So while I'm here, I'll take this bolt off. In case the other one doesn't come with one. So what I'll do, same thing, what I'll do with the nut, I'll chuck it back in its hole. This just minimizes, like, you know, having to put them somewhere or lose them. So this here, you see that little bit of plastic there? Yeah, well, I'm going to chuck it back in here. So I think it'll be like that. Oh, I've got it around the wrong way, but see, we got the tab. Hold that tab. This should come out. Oh, am I going the right way? Oh, you got to push it back towards you. So I'll turn that the right way like that then. Yeah, see? And it's good to go through this, especially if you've got video technology. You can, you know, retrace where you pulled things off. Nothing, you know, nothing's annoying than trying to find out where things go away. And we've got that one last loom plug there. Same thing. This is a push clip. This one you got to push it down this way. You got to push that in, I think, and then, you know, you can pull it off. There you go. And that I think was the earthing to the alternator or something. Another earth. You know, a smaller earth. So I'm going to get that last. Oh, okay. I pushed it out of the way there. That might be okay. But you see that last clip down there? There's that last clip there. Around here. Oh, it's down over there. If I move this, you can probably just see it. That there. Yeah, I've got to get that off. I can pull it off or just leave it there like that. I'll see what's what. If I have to pull it off, I'll video it. Yep. So what I've noticed is that this tab here, right, it's attached to this wire. It's attached by tape. If I can cut the tape off, I can just pull the wire off and leave the tab there and tape it up later. That'll probably be easier, but, you know, I should try and get that clip off, but You know, it might be just like, oh, I can just unbolt it from here though. That's probably the best way, is to take that bolt off down there. So yeah, I'll do that. Probably better to use a 10mm ring spinner, something like this. But it also can be difficult to crack those cracked 10mm nuts sometimes. We'll give it a go, eh? I should just put I'm gonna put the ratchet on it. Because my hand got quite close to something, and if you slip and hurt your hand, it's, you know, something you could avoid. Yeah, see, look at that. The ring spinner's the ratchet's way easier. And I can spin it off on my fingers. Down here. So we'll just get rid of this. Now, like I was saying, you can, you know, put the bolts, try to keep them back or arranged, or try to keep them around where you pull them out. So that there, I'll try to put it back where I got it from. If you got a camera, you know, you can always video reference to where you've taken things off and gotten things from. See, now this loom is a bit more loose and away from the target that you're approaching. You know, I could take the rocker cover off, or the plastic cover, and so this can go right back, but it should be alright to leave it there like that. So there's one bolt here on the alternator. I know that, you know, you can take off. I thought the belt would get in the way, but you can push it down, get past it. And there's another bolt down here somewhere. So this is the thing with without the mountain, you know, it's easier to get in here. But I think I better take the alternator off like this, because I don't want to muck around with the restriction. And I know how easy it is to get the belt on and off, so I think we'll do that. So I think I've found the bolt that I need to take off. My hand's on it now, but if you can take reference to where my spanner is, straight down from there, right? You'll feel it when you put your hand under. I'm just going off this here. Because you've got a bit of alloy where the bolt runs through like this, it feels like this type of molding or engineering down there, like a bolt can come through here, like down here. So I've loosened it, all right, and I'll try to give you a look at it, eh? Hope it doesn't come out blurry or something like that. Hopefully we can see something around here. If not, I'll just edit it out, but I think we can see the bolt. I'll try that, eh? Something like this. Yeah. It's also a good way to put eyes on what you're going to feel down there. It's stuff that you can't see. So I'm going to have a look at that video and see what's up with that. This is the bolt, like how you saw underneath that alternator. This is the bolt here that I was talking about, but I'm hoping it's one of the ones, because usually alternator bolts have two in them. but this one might have 3. I don't know. I've never done an alternator like this. Yeah, see, when you saw from the video, when the bolt was, you know, when I put the camera down there, the bolt was on the side like that. That's the one. So you'll be able to tell the difference, because there's one that doesn't look like that. It's just a nut on a thread down there. But yeah, hopefully this is the one there. So I'm going to undo this one here and see if I get a responsive movement from the alternator. So that one there is a 14. I'll put the 14 ratchet on. 14mm socket, sorry. See if this will fit. Oh, probably a bit too long. I don't have to use a big grunty ratchet like this. But I think that's taken off. Yeah, there we go. I've had this undone before, so it would have been easier this time to get it off and undo it. So right now that's loose. Look how loose that is. I'm going to test to see if I can move the alternator. It should have shifted a bit by now. That does feel a bit loose, but we'll see. I think I have to take this. This is new because I probably have to take this whole bolt out and then tap the back of the other thread that's over here. You can see that the other side of it, it's encased in a bit of alloy, like it's got a stopper on it to probably stop it from coming loose and probably falling out or whatever the buzz. But yeah, this here I probably have to pull out to get the alternator off, but we'll see. So I'm going to undo this as much as I can and see what happens. I should take the belt off with the tensioner, but I'll do that after this. So I can push the belt down and get this bolt off. Okay, it's going to go past that belt. And it's really loose. So you should have moved or done something, but I think because of that bolt at the back, that bit at the back there, they're just keeping it centered, everything centered. Well, we'll see, eh? So I'm going to chuck this on the tensioner, and I'm going to get this belt off first. I don't like being restricted from doing things. So I'll do this so it makes it easier on us. There, the belt's off now. Now I'll shake the alternator again. Look at that, it's moving now. Oh, I might be able to tension the belt up. That's weird. See how much I've moved that up? Because I need to move the belt up a little bit to tighten it, to try probably get the alternator to go. Interesting. But it needs a bracket, eh? Because old alternators, I don't think I can put that bolt right here. I don't think I can put this back in right now and leave it at that tension, because you should be able to tighten. Because if the belt's a bit stretched, then that's the reason why it's probably not charging the alternator. But if the alternator's faulty, then you know you have to replace it. But I can't. These fellas would have told us. This would have been hopefully someone on YouTube that would have told us how to, you know, adjust the alternator. If not, hope this helps. Yeah, I think I found the tensioner on the. I think we can. We'll just have to see, eh? Well, you only can move that up and can't move that much, so it's no point. So, because that's what tensioners are for, to put tension on the belt so you don't, and it's a hydraulic tensioner, so you don't have to keep pulling the alternators like the old cars where you would undo the bracket on the alternator, the bolt, and then just shift it, pull it back and forward. Oh well, never mind. Wishful thinking. See, that's old school engineering, trying to use it, and nowadays when there's probably new school stuff like, you know, 2000 model cars. Yeah, so I can, you know, drastically move this, but I think I have to get that bolt at the back. So we'll see what happens when I get that off. I think I have to tap it out. Yeah. But I'll show us how we get that off, because I gotta go figure it out now. Yeah, false alarm. I thought, you know, I was gonna put this back in the shaft and tap that funny looking bolt at the back out, but no, it's just a shimmy, just like the old school ones. Just shimmy it out. Oh, there you go. There's the alternator. Yeah, so this is the alternator out of it. Yeah, and try not to put anything near these terminals, because that's an earth right now. That's live. That's an earth. Touches or spark. And computers and looms don't like surges and sparks. Oh, cool. Yeah, this is the alternator, so, and that's how you get it out. Hopefully I showed us how to put the belt on, so I can get that belt back on or like that. It's quite easy. But yeah, I just need to go get an alternator now. Cool. So here we got the alternator. This is a new one, and this is you know, I filmed a few days ago. Don't worry about that. I might cover it with something or put the other cover on. You guys probably saw earlier in the video or the other video me taking this off and then putting it back on. Now, the guys that who have done this before, now you're watching there when I spin this. See that? You can still spin it and then stop the bearing, and that still spins. See? See that? That's what my alternator is not doing. But they reckon, so it's like a push bike. You can go, you know, wind the bike hardcore, but the minute you put on the back brake, you know, or you can just let it go. You can let it go and it'll spin, and you'll still glide with the momentum of your bike through the ratio of, you know, what the gearing's doing on your bike. But yeah, so this is supposed to spin, let the alternator spin freely. But so when it's under load or rev, you know, it can just top the charge up, or the perpetual motion through the alternator to generate current, you know, can freely spin, you know, and alternate with the accelerator or the computer, mainly off the accelerator, but the computer can probably control how much fuel goes in and stuff like that. I believe some mechanics are more practical than theoretical. The theoretical stuff works, but don't need to overcomplicate it. I don't know if that's the same thing with electric cars. I don't like the noise though. This is probably going to burn out soon. Oh well, I have no idea. Here's the other old alternator, and I'll show you. Like, see, the blade in there is supposed to spin. See, it's not. It's just stuck. So this is being seized or welded to. So it's heated up, and the bearings will be dried out and gone stuck. Maybe I can replace the pulley, and it'll be all good. Here's the other one. So here's the new one that I got, and you can watch inside. And you watch this. See, it's free spinning. See, it's fine. See that? Yeah. So that's what's happened. My alternator did burn out. So I'm going to get this on like I did last time. There we go. I just need to center it for this bolt here. Okay. So I'm going to try to do. I'll tap it with something. Just steady. Now I'm using something rubber side. Might not work. Use that back of a hammer. I could get that. So let's see. Oh, I went down lower, but maybe that's where it wants to be. We'll soon find out. I'll check this in. Yeah, that's lined up on one side. Yeah, that should push through and thread up. Hopefully, I start off a bit tight and just give it a wiggle. Yeah. Now I'll put a. Put a ratchet on that for the moment. Yeah, it's a 14. I'll be back once it's on. Alright, now we're going to chuck this bolt in the bottom. Oh yeah, I thought it wouldn't be loose enough, that's why I left that bolt there off a little bit so you can move it around and position that this bottom bolt. Alright, that's easy. That was kind of easy to find that, where that was. But so then again, you know, you got to just use feeling and think about your positioning. Try visualize it. I can stick the. I showed you the bolt before, but I can stick the phone down there and show you where, because we had some directional references. But here, let's see if we can see that bolt again. Or where is it? There. So this bolt here, that bolt there. Hopefully we can see it now. Where is it? There. So that's the one I placed. So you can see how loose it is still. So I'll probably that keeps its place. So you know, if that's in, I'm thinking that's the one you want, or the place you want. So yeah, so I'm going to tighten that up and put, and you can watch me put everything back on. So the alternator's in, it's all tightened up. Now we're going to try get this in Now I'm using right there. Okay, that's a 6 point. All right, you can't get very many degrees around things because remember how we were doing it? The mount was in the way last time. So I'm going to use the 12 point to get around this mount. And this is going to go under here and then onto the tensioner, which is there. I'll pull out if you can see the tensioner right down there. I wonder if we can zoom in. Okay, you'll see, stay there. You should see the tensioner over there where my finger is pointing at it, right there. And we'll try and make you see it like this. Yeah, there it is. Can you see the tensioner? Look, I'm pointing to it with my power bar, and I'm going to try to touch it. Alright, see me trying to put this on? See that? That's what I got to pull down. But now that's in the way. So we've got to find a degree where we can chuck something in and pull it down. And, you know, we've got to crank it down enough to get the belt on. Cool? So I'm going to try to set that up, and then we'll record that. So how we've got here. So if you've got an adapter like this, all right, because it can be flexible to go in small spaces, then a ratchet or maybe a power bar. Yeah, the power bar was a bit too long. That's the only reason why I couldn't use it. But this, I'll probably have to adjust it, but we'll see. Now this, there, and now I can push it down. Now I can push this down, and you can hear that tensioner moving. Yeah. See that? Now I can get the belt on. Now we'll try that, eh? Use my belt. I have to bring it out of the way. Yep. So before I put this on before getting the belt over here. Okay, but I rearranged it so it's in order now. So I've got the belt on this side and then put this on my tensioner. Okay, so I'm going to push it down and then try to get this belt on. Cool. So what had happened is that I thought this bearing on the alternator was a bit too big, but lucky I checked. But what had happened is that it's best probably to check your belt, make sure your belt's aligned before you chuck it on. So down there, I don't know if you can see it, but if we did it last time, you see the belt moving like that, that came off and it misaligned, and then as I was trying to pull it back, it wasn't seated properly. Okay, on the pulley down there. So I aligned it properly, and now we're able to get the belt on. Cool. Let's try this again, because it should be relatively easy to how I was showing how I was doing it before. So I'm just checking to see if the belt's aligned. Yeah, so I had to realign the belt and make sure, because it will make it difficult if you don't have the exact same part too. So this is a bit bigger, but I confidently got this on before, so I'm going to try it again. Pause. Yeah, so like I was saying before, this pulley is just a few millimeters bigger than the other one. But look, I've got the belt on, right? So I just need to play with the tensioner to get it fully onto there. That's pretty good. And what's been giving me grief is that this belt has been coming off all the other pulleys. So maybe the ones down there and that. Oh man, I should have a light, eh? I wonder if you can see now. Yeah. So if the belt comes off the pulley down there, you can just see that belt. Yeah, that. See if the belt comes off the pulley there. Anyway, if it's misaligned, it's especially if the alternator pulley is a bit too big, then yeah, it'll give you problems. So as you're doing it, it's a bit tedious because of the space in there. Just fiddle around with it, or you could do the thing and take the mounts off again, but we're not going to do that. So I'm going to play around with this belt so you can see how I got it on. Yeah, so I'm pushing the tensioner down. See, look how I had to get this belt to here. Look at that. Yeah, boom, going on. I'm not going to muck around with it anymore because, man, it was so hard to get that on. See that? It's happy. So all the belt, all of the belt is where it should be on its most of its pulleys, like down in there and that. And I'm sorry if you can't really visualize or see, but yeah, you can see where the power bars on the tensioner and that. This was not a hard job, but what made it hard, it was hard only because how the room and all the, yeah, what you have to try to do. So in the end, it's probably better to put a jack under the motor, leave the mount off, put your belt on, put your alternator on, and then your belt. But yeah, it's doable like this. So now I've got to just chuck everything back on, and then yeah, we'll sort that. Cool. Now we're going to chuck this on. We'll probably work our way down. I'll just see. First time we're doing this, so you know, gonna try to figure it out. So I'm going to take this off. Remember how I put that bolt on it, so it would stay there and we won't lose it or something like that. We got this one going on. Yeah, so because I got this alternator from the wreckers, so this came off that way like that, and you can see in there, those want to go back into those grooves there. I'm going to chuck this on. So we'll just place them and then we'll tighten them up. But even though you just can see me putting them on, and then I tighten them up and then show you what it looks like afterwards. It'll probably be alright. So we got this here. So make sure you check which way you're going to chuck it on. Alright, and you have a look inside there. Yeah, so yeah, having a good look at the pins. Look at the design over there. It's cool how they made it so it only goes on one way. So the bottom pins are there, and plus the clip will show you. It will only go on one way, but that's, you know, if there has been times where people force things on that go one way, and hey, that's that buzz. Remember this clip here? This clip here, I could chuck it back on now. So we'll chuck it back in here. I don't know if it went there, but it looks like it went there in that hole because there's two of them. It looks straight, hey? So this, right down the bottom here. Right down the bottom here, see that? That's got to go onto the power steering pump. Right down there, yeah? So cool. Now you probably won't be able to see, but right down there, right down here somewhere, follow the cord, stay there. Well, I can line it up like this. If I had the GoPro on, you might be able to see, but I'll thread it up anyway and give you a look. It's still in there, so it's going to fall out. Oh my gosh. Very hard and difficult. You can't see where you're going. It's probably an easy way to do that. I could probably do it from the bottom, but I don't have to. Well, you see, it's just all trial and error. It's like this. Let me try this, eh? Where is it? Yeah. If you can see anything down there, what's happening? See, parts like this, you have to go through it, eh? But it's best to have a certain way of doing it. And I'm trying to show you as best I can. Yeah, that's nipped up down there. It's only a little bracket. Now, you would have seen how I took the clip off down there. I'll try to show you how I'll put it back on, but I think I showed you how where I took it off. So maybe, well, hang on, we'll see if I can get it back on then. I gotta jump under the car. So this is that clip I was telling you about. It's gonna be a bit fidgety, but you know, you gotta deal with the space that you got. So I'm just sliding it on with my fingers like that, and somehow I gotta push it on. Lucky these are push clips. You don't have to like do some spectacular things to try and get them on. You just push them on, and they should clip. Would tell you that they're locked in. You can always use the assist of a screwdriver. But yeah, I'll try and get that on. Yep, there it is. It clipped on. Cool. So that's the last clip there. Pause. So now I get to tighten these things up. So that's on takeoff. It's righty-tighty. Yeah, that's nice. These are 10 mils, so they don't have to be too tight. Like small bolt, small metal. You can look up the torque specs or how much you can tighten them if you want to be exact, but they don't need much. You shouldn't be blooming over tightening them, because if you do, you snap things, eh? Now I can put these brackets back on and steer the aircon to where they need to go. Okay. So remember this grey thing? Yeah. I'll chuck it on here like that and clip it on like that. Sweet. Happy. I'm checking all the connections. They seem to be fine. That's just loose where it is. It's not loose at the connection. It's connected properly because it clipped in. And those clips are pretty hardcore if you don't unclip them when you take them off. So I'm going to show you. Oh wait, I'll better put these brackets back on. So this one sits over here like that. Okay, and we bolt it to there, right, and a nut like this. So we can put it here. If you get these wrong or the wrong way around, you can always swap them around, because they're only little cosmetic things. And this one I'll chuck over here because it looks like it goes there. Remember, it's trial and error, and it's not detrimental. Just don't over tighten them. Yeah, it's good to nip the suckers up with the fingers. Okay. Okay. So I took this aircon pipe out. It sits there. That's fine. That's quite good. Okay. I'm just looking for where this would sit. Okay. This sits here like that. So this can go on this. The aircon pipe can be brought down. So I'll do that. These are the nuts for the bottom plastic dust cover underneath the car. So we'll sort that out later. This one I think goes here. Yeah, I don't like showing too much of the turning of nuts and bolts because it can use up a lot of battery, camera, and your time, some people's time. But yeah, I've nipped them up. I've nipped up those 10 mils. Now this is one of those bits. Now aircon pipes are pretty rigid. Aircon pipes are pretty rigid. So down in there's that aircon pipe there. I'm going to steer it into where it's going to go. Now, these are pretty rigid, but you got to be careful because if you damage them, they will spray out the aircon at they will spray out the aircon at blooming high PSI. Yeah. So this goes back into there. Yeah. And here I have to line this up. Maybe I have to go this way like this. I'll go this way like that. Yeah. Hope I don't have it the wrong way. They should clip in there. That seems to be alright. Seems to be fine. But if I do have that up the wrong way, I'm sorry. So at the moment, I just need to put the battery back on and the bottom dust cover, that's at the bottom. Cool. The bottom of the car, the one that goes underneath here, which I don't think it's necessary. I might record me doing it, or we'll see. Right, and then we'll start it up. This is what the problem that persisted. So I've chucked the new alternator in, right, and it's working, but I'm replicating how the battery light shows up while your alternator is not working properly. I've taken either the positive off or the earth, but we're gonna go see that. Yeah. So that there is replicating like the alternator is not going. I'll watch when I chuck it back on. Okay. So put it back on. We'll come back in here. Start the car. And see, the battery light's gone away. And I'm glad, because that caution light was bloody annoying as well. Cool. So I'm just gonna probably run it for a little bit, because I've charged the battery in my other car. But the thing is, I just put the cover on, the dust cover here, And that's yeah, it's the one. Boom. So under here, there's, see that bolt there? See that bolt there? Right, and that bolt there. These are the ones you take off. Some of these you will be able to see them when you get under and have a look. You can take these off to take the bottom cover off. Okay, quite I think there's like 6 or 8 at the bottom, and I think you have some of these clips too, but I just stuck the nuts back in and it's holding. But you can always go to your wreckers if you can find them, or you can go to certain suppliers like your automotive suppliers. They might have these clips. Cool. So I'm chucking these back in the top of this case. Okay, this case just went back on like this. Alright. So this is one of the first things you take off before you access, well, what you want to access under it. Well, to get to the alternator, we probably could. I don't think we could pull the alternator out without, you know, moving the stuff we did. So, but here, look, see these clips? To get them, that's they're open, and yet these have the taper back inside. So you'll find the holes that they go in. Push them down, they should clip in. I have 4 in here. I hope I grabbed some from the wreckers, but I don't know if I did. See, look, I've already closed it. They can be temperamental to get off. Sometimes you can get them off, sometimes you can't. So, but just try work with them. It's best to use a screwdriver.